Hey, I'm Steve from Within the Ruins, and this is Brutal Planet.
Hello, this is Ron Bumblefoot Thal of Sons of Apollo, and welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
This is Mike Howe from Metal Church, and welcome to Brutal Planet.
This is Livia Graham from Livesyn, and welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
This is Hulk Hoffman of Video. Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Hey, this is JD from Syra, and welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Hey, this is Nick Reese from Joyous Wolf, and this is Brutal Planet Magazine.
We are Thunder Mother, and welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Tom Banglund here. Just want to welcome you guys to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Kevin from the Heavy Metal Shop. Welcome to Brutal Planet. Hello, Metalheads. I'm Nils Patrick Johansson, known from Lions Hair and Outdoors. Welcome to Brutal Planet Magazine.
Greetings and salutations, Brutal Planet. We are here live with the one and only Wednesday 13.
Mr. Motherfucker, Duke of Spook.
That's right. Many aliases.
Yes.
They all fit.
Man, thank you for taking the time today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
So tell us about this this new tour going on, man.
What do you want to know about it?
I want to know all of it. I want to know how it came about, where you got the ideas. I want to know all the nitty-gritty. Give us an idea of the song you're going to play, some of the songs you're going to play, or is that secret?
I mean, I'll tell you. We'll see.
Okay.
Right. Basically, last year we were doing the 20 Years of Fear tour, which I consider. I've been doing this longer than 20 years, which is crazy to believe. But 20 years last year was when Murder Dolls started. And I kind of consider that the first, because I got to quit my day job. And, so last year we were doing the 20 Years of Fear tour. We did 2 legs of that in the States, and, reflected on different parts of my catalog. And so when we get to the Murder Dolls section of the show, and, I don't know, I think 4 songs, maybe. I can't remember exactly. We did it different every time, but either way, we'll do a little tribute thing and talk about Joey, since Joey had passed. And and after the show, and on social media and everyone commenting on the tour, everyone was like, it's a great tour. I love the Murder Dolls section. I never got to hear those songs. It'd be great if you ever did a tour one day and played all those songs. Idea pops in my stage.
Yeah.
So every time I do a tour, I want to do something different and change it up. But that just was such a cool thing to do. And I'm like, why don't we just do a whole tour where we just play the Murder Doll stuff? And we can do both records. I've got Jack and Ramon, who were there, and on the last Murder Dolls album, we played all this music together. So it's just it made sense, and not going out calling it Murder Dolls and trying to, just doing what I've been doing since Murder Dolls took a break the first time. I started my own thing. I played I played some Murder Doll songs in the beginning before I had the catalog I have now. And because the first time Wednesday 13 went out on Transylvania, I had to play a handful of songs. So the very first Wednesday 13 tour I ever did, I had to play a lot of those songs. So, I've just kind of, it's cool that I'm able to do that, and calling it Murder Dolls without Joey is weird for me, at this point, but to go out and play these songs and hopefully everybody's reaction is going to be as good as it has been online. It's exciting. This is our first actual real tour of the year. I mean, we did Australia earlier and a short run in the UK, but this year was just sort of took time off just to get prepared for this. And once we start October 20th, we've got shows all the way up till April next year and beyond that, so
nice.
A busy time. And I'm excited to go out and revisit these songs, because it's been a long time since I played these songs, I mean, and some of these in the first Murder Dolls album, even memory wise goes back even further because it's in my band prior, you know, Frankenstein Drag Queen. So, you know, songs like 1976 I wrote in 1996, you know, and I was just almost turning 20 years old, and I'm 47 now, you know. So to go back and revisit those songs is fun. And also it's you know, one of the main things that I want to achieve, which we haven't even started rehearsals yet, but that's the goal of the band and everybody. We want to make these songs sound just like the album. I mean, if not even better than the album. That's the main thing that is the focus on it. And for people asking what songs are we going to play, I mean, I think between those two albums, there's 40 Murder Doll songs. I think that's with all the B-sides and extra tracks and stuff. And we probably have enough time to play 25 of those songs. So I've been asking people online, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? And I've already picked my list anyway. So I just want to see, did they pick the same ones? And everyone did. I mean,
Nice.
you know, there's some songs we're not going to play. You know, there was even some songs that we didn't even play really with the band the first time. There was some like like some of the later songs on the album were what we called like the B-sides or whatever, like, you know, like stuff like Let's Fuck and I Take Drugs and stuff like that. Those were fun songs, but we didn't really play them that often. And on the last tour in 2010, 2011, I went back and watched videos, and we did a lot of cool stuff. So I've been watching videos. I've went and revisited everything. I've listened to the albums. I've watched old videos. I've absorbed it, and I've got to watch it kind of as a fan this time because it's been so long since I've done it. And I've also been able to focus on it, and I'm going to give the people what they want. They want to hear the good stuff. They want to hear White Wedding. They want to hear you know, all the singles. They want to hear all of that, and we're going to give it to Welcome to the Strange, all the stuff. And we're excited to do it. You know, I mean, you know, I've got Ramon and Jack, who were part of Murder Dolls in the last lineup. So, you know, that second album's super special to us because, you know, we got to go out and do all those amazing tours that we did back then, like supporting Guns N' Roses and Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie and all these. You know, we did some amazing stuff in a short time, you know, and that the band's, you know, 21 years now, but we did 2 albums, and there's in 1 year on each album of touring, and the damage and the stuff we were able to do is amazing. And to see that people still want to hear it, like it, demanding it. And it's not the old fans that are there. You know, I've got kids writing me, begging me to change the age restriction at the venues because they're 13 and they can't get into the show. So I'm like,
yeah,
all right, this is translating. So it's not, the old fans are there too, but there's people that never got to experience it or came late to the game, you know. So it's just it's exciting to see it, you know. And America was the place we had the least reaction. The UK was a big thing for us, like real quick. Australia was great. Japan was great. Europe was the US was kind of like our small market. So it's exciting to see what it's going to be like. But ticket sales are great. My VIPs are out of control. I've sold out a ton of them. So anyone that's hesitating on waiting to get those, don't, or you've waited too long. I'm unmeetable now.
I mean, I will attest for the meet and greets are fun, and you know, you get anything you want signed pretty much within reason, but you know, you get a chance to chat with you and say hi and get your picture taken, and it's you're a very personable guy when you're backstage and you're meeting your fans.
Well, I try to be, and it's only because I was a fan, I am a fan, and I still go to meet people. I spent last weekend, you know, all weekend at a Halloween movie convention, standing in line to meet the first Michael Myers, Nick Castle, and the second Michael Myers, Dick Warlock.
Oh wow.
And I waited in line, and I waited in line with fans, and I felt that excitement, and I know what it's like to wait to get up to someone, and you want them to be cool. You don't want them to be like an asshole because,
Yeah.
oh God, I just paid this guy to be a dipshit to me. So I always remember that, and I've always been that fan. I was the fan that would go see my favorite bands. You know, I idolized a lot of bands that were reachable. You know, I love Motley Crue and Poison and those bands, but they were untouchable. They were in the arenas. But bands like Love Hate and Spread Eagle and all those bands, they were playing the clubs that I'm playing now, and they would show up, and I would hang out in the parking lot. And like, oh, I want to sneak into their sound check. And every band was cool to me, and they always hung out with me. And I try to give that same experience to them. I don't ever want them to feel, I mean, there's fans that walk in and they get kicked out of the venue or whatever, but but it's just, I've always tried to be cool to people. And if I see people in the parking lot as I'm walking into the venue, I try to talk to them unless I running late for sound check and they're waiting on me, So I just try to be good to people because that's what I would want, and there's nothing worse than seeing someone phone it in and fake it and just be miserable. Like, I'm able to do this because of the fans. So, the last thing I want to do is leave them with a bad experience.
Love Hate is a band I haven't heard about in a long time. I love that band. I haven't even listened to them in a long time. It's crazy you brought them up.
It's been like at least 3 days since I've heard Blackout in the Red Room.
So I'm just curious, back when you guys formed the Murder Dolls, what did you have any expectations, or you were just going to do your thing and see who followed along?
It's, I've been talking about it this morning, doing some interviews and so it's a lot of this stuff I start remembering as I'm talking about it, because it's been it's so long. So really what happened in 2000, in the year 2000, I went to go see, I was living in North Carolina. I went to this venue in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went and saw Dope play. Because a friend of mine had been promoting them, this guy named Dink, who I had met with my band Frankenstein Drag Queens in Philadelphia. And we played this show a long time ago, and that's where I met AC for the first time. And either way, he's like, yeah, AC's got this new band called Dope, and I saw they were playing in Charlotte. And the reason I went to go see Dope is because at the time I was working at Hot Topic in my mall. I was working as a second job. I had my main job, and I went into the mall one day. My daughter's like 3 years old. I walked into the mall. I went in Hot Topic, and I had like pink dreadlocks. And the manager was like, "Do you want a job?" And I went, "I got a job." And I was but I was trying to save up and get me and my kid and my lady out of this horrible area we lived in. I'm like, but you know what? I'm going to work a second job. So I used to work second job at Hot Topic. I worked all night. I worked third shift, and like 3 or 4 days a week, I'd go straight from third shift to the mall and fucking work at Hot Topic. And I literally would fall asleep standing there, which is why I got fired from the place. But, they had magazines in there, and there was a hit parader and had a picture of Dope. And somebody walked in the store and said, "You look like you're in Dope." And I look at a picture and I see a picture. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. So anyway, I go to the show, and I see the guys after the show. I start talking to Trip and AC, and Trip and I hit it off. He had a Plasmatics t-shirt on, and I was obsessed with the Plasmatics at this point. And he had all these bootlegs. Plus, he was a toy nerd. And so we exchanged numbers, and Trip used to mail me all these videos of like old, just hours and hours of just commercials of weird shit. And so we kept in touch. And every time, so I kept in touch with him. So later on that year, Trip was like, "Hey, send me a picture of you, not in your Frankenstein drag queen gear, but just kind of like in your look, like when I met you. Send me a picture of you, because I got this project I'm working on, and the guys were looking for somebody. If you're interested, send me a picture. So I sent him a picture of me looking normal-ish, which and he was submitting me for the rejects. This is before I even knew what it was. And I guess I didn't get the gig because I didn't get the call back.
You got rejected from the rejects.
Yes. So this is 2000, and I guess they were doing like the rejects. Joey had the rejects, and every Christmas or New Year's he would have time off from Slipknot, and he would do a New Year's Eve show. So they were doing a show, and he would just get different members and all the time. So they were looking for somebody, and they got someone else for that year or whatever. So flash forward to a year later, they hit me up again. They're like, hey, so that thing we were talking about, we might actually do an album, and we want to use your music. And then it became that. And then I get in touch with Joey. I talk to Joey on the phone. Joey's like, I really like this song. I want to use this song and this song. And then it became a handful of songs at the time. It wasn't as many as it ended up being. And they wanted me to be the bass player in the band. I'm like, at this point, I was working the 2 jobs or whatever kind of deal. And I'm just like, I gotta escape this life and North Carolina. So I'll do whatever. If I got to play bass, I'll play bass. If I got to play the washboard, I'll play the washboard. So I'm, joining this band as the bass player and bringing my music in, and we record the first 4 or 5 songs. I'm playing bass. Dizzy's doing vocals on it. And then Joey goes on tour for 6 months, and we don't hear from him, and we're just waiting. And then Joey comes back, and he's like, hey, so I've been listening to all your music, and I want to use this song, this song, this song, this song, this song. And then it ended up, and I'm like, well, fuck, that's like 11 songs now. Okay, yeah. Cool, whatever, great. And then about the time I'm going, God, I really wish I could sing my own songs. It'd be great. And then Joey said, also, I want you to be the singer of the band. And I'm like, all right, this makes sense now. So it literally was just, everything was just happening as it was. And then it was like, okay, so you're the singer now. And I was in Iowa when he decided for me to do this. We were in the studio recording, and he was like, you've got 3 days to rework all these vocals and change everything. And I'm like, I got to rewrite songs completely. Yeah. And I'm like, thinking back on it now, I don't know why he didn't fly me home, work out some shit, come back, but we didn't have time. I think he knew I've got this window, and he was just like, do it. And I sat in his sister's bedroom, because Joey at the time was living at his mom's house. It was him and his mom and his sister's bedroom, that she wasn't there anymore, but like it was just, still made up like she was there from when she was a teenager. Yeah. So I'm sitting in this bedroom with like flowers on the wall and all white, and I got to rewrite 18 songs, and not rewrite, but the ones that weren't mine, rewrite shit. And I did this all in the brightest, like it was the sun, like there was no way to black anything out. I just literally sat in this room. But it kind of made it funny, and I redid everything, and we tracked it, and I spent I probably spent 12 hours doing vocals. When I was done, I couldn't talk. And I went straight to the airport and got on a plane and came home. And Joey mixed the album and sent me mixes of it, and that was it. And then, okay, now you guys got to put a live band together. Who are you going to get? Who do we got? Well, what do we want our band to look like? Well, I like the Plasmatics, and I like Motley Crue Shout at the Devil. If we can mix the imagery of those 2 bands together, let's do it. I'm like, all right, well, I got dreadlocks. I've got this. Joey, you got the black hair thing. And I was like, man, we need like a Nikki Sixx looking guy. And Trip calls us up and was like, hey, I just filmed the Static X Cold video, and my friend Eric was in the video playing a vampire. He's kind of got this Nikki Sixx look. Send us the picture. Perfect. Then Eric goes, hey, if you're looking for a Tommy Lee kind of drummer guy, I'm playing with this guy named Ben Graves in this band. He'd be perfect. Okay, cool. So Trip went out or was in LA and he got together with those two dudes and they rehearsed, went through 4 or 5 songs, guitar, bass, and drums. They videoed it on VHS on Trip's camera, mailed it to Joey, and we sat in his bedroom at the end of his bed, put the VHS in and watched this video of them and went, what do you think? Okay. All right. That our band? That's our band. All right, cool. Go. And that was that simple. And then everything's we call them up, we talk to them on the phone, we get to know them after we watch the video. Then we fly out to LA and let's do a photo shoot and meet each other for the first time. So that very first photo you see like on Metal Edge magazine, I think was one of the very first photos we took as a band. And we literally had just met the night before.
Wow.
So we hadn't even played yet as a band. It's crazy.
Wow.
And then we went and filmed the video. So we lip synced to Dead in Hollywood, the video, but still hadn't played as a band yet.
Oh, wow.
Then we went home for a month, and then we came back out and rehearsed for the first time as a band and went on tour. So it wasn't like, we were long friends that knew each other. It was just go, 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 go. And that's why it was so dysfunctional because we didn't know each other. It was 5 strangers with 5 strange crew people. And for all of us, with the exception of Joey and AC, this was our first time going out and doing my first time on a tour bus, first time being away from home, living out of a suitcase. Just literally just going to warp speed, boom, and that everything just happened so fast. And then with Joey being his celebrity in Slipknot, and Slipknot taking their mask off had this mystique about it, like when Kiss took their makeup off. Everyone wanted to know what they look like. So we had this, MTV wanted to know what, so we instantly had eyes on us, which did not hurt. And it also didn't hurt that we had good music and we looked cool and it worked. And then we did our video and we got Marilyn Manson to be in the video, which a lot of people don't know this. He'd never heard us. He didn't film his video, his part the day we were even there. He just was repaying Joey a favor, I think, for Joey being in the Tainted Love video. And originally Manson was going to be the second verse on 1976-66. He was doing the vocals on it because he wanted to sign Murder Dolls to his label, but we couldn't contractually to Roadrunner. So he was repaying the favor. But what he didn't realize that he did was that he put his stamp of approval on us. So we had Slipknot fans, Marilyn Manson's approval, and we had the music, we had the look, and boom, we're cover Kerrang, cover Metal Hammer. It was just our shows went from selling clubs out to playing the Forum, selling it out there, then going to Brixton Academy. It was just going up, up, up. And then we had stopped, and Slipknot did their 3rd album and went on tour for 2-3 years. And that's why the ball stopped rolling. The momentum just went. Had we had kept going, who knows? Who knows what happened.
So it sounds like when you describe the beginnings of the band, it was kind of like the Real World metal style. You just 4 strangers in a room, and let's just see how they react.
Yeah. And like I said, for a lot of us, it was our first time. It was rough. I had a 3.5-year-old daughter. I was married, and my wife hated it. She fucking hated me being it. She hated it. And 99.9% of our audience were screaming girls.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was rough, going out for that first year. And also we weren't making really any money too. So I was quitting my job and not knowing. It was just, but I wanted it so fucking bad. I did not I was like, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And I did. And luckily I did. And I'm here today.
Yeah. So my question is did you go back to that Hot Topic and say, that's my shirt, motherfucker?
No, but here's a funny story. So when I worked at Hot Topic at the time, Slipknot was on their second record. Or no. Yeah, first, second record. Either way, I'm trying to do the math on it. But I remember my manager, the one that hired me.
Mm-hmm.
One day we got a stack of T-shirts in. It was Slipknot shirts. And she was like, this is the new band that's going to blow up or whatever. Because actually, when I'm thinking back to it now, I worked at Hot Topic in a third shift job, and then I had another job where I delivered magazines for about a year prior to the Murder Dolls starting. So their second record had came out before I met Joey, but when I worked at Hot Topic, the first one had just came out, and I remember her holding the T-shirt and the CD, and she was just went, "Ugh, this is the next porn," or something like that.
Yeah.
Looked at, I was like, "Oh, they got masks on. I'm into Monster Mask. This is cool."
Yeah.
When I heard it, it just wasn't my thing. Just right over my head, not my style. And I even told Joey that, and he thought, and Joey and I, he liked that. He liked it that I wasn't a Slipknot fan. He enjoyed, and it wasn't that I didn't like them. I just didn't listen to them. I was a punk rock, glam rock guy. Very, very picky on that. And so the lady that hired me at Hot Topic was like, "Oh, Slipknot, blah, blah, blah." She's the one that fired me because I've kept falling asleep and I wasn't doing any sales. I was literally falling asleep on the sales rack. And she fired me. So the year after Murder Dog went on tour, White Wedding came out, all this stuff, I was at the mall in my town, a different mall actually, and was walking with my daughter, and I saw that girl, and she was like, "Hey," she goes, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in a couple of years. What are you doing now?" And I was like, "Remember that band Slipknot?" I was like, "Well, I started the band with one of those guys," and she just looked at me like, it wasn't like a fuck you, but it was just a funny kind of,
that is
like, oh shit,
small world, So yeah, very small world.
Nice. That's a great story, because it just kind of shows that, just because you work at a Hot Topic doesn't mean you're not going to grow up to be somebody.
Well, back then, Hot Topic was really different than what it is now. Like, it was like, you could go in and get like real. I mean, I wanted to work there because I got an awesome store discount on shit. And they still had like cool shirts, and they were getting cool toys in, like I used to get a great discount. I'd get a discount off the discount stuff. So nice. I was like, cool, that was when it was really heavy, like goth, what everyone made fun of. They called the mall goths. That's where everyone hung out. Now it's a little more Pokemon friendly, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
It's a little more mainstream.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So for me, the Murder Dolls was one of those bands. I remember I saw you guys on the first time I saw you was on that tour with Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, and man, it was just like there was so much fucking energy in that opening set. It's like, how is anybody going to live up to this?
Well, thank you. That was something that we did, and the attack, the energy on stage, that was all orchestrated from Joey. It was something that we did, but it was something that he drill sergeant about. Like, Joey was the first guy I'd ever played with in a band that told me what to do. Like, not like tell me how to. I mean, yeah, he would be like, "Hey, fucking headbang on this part," or talk to the audience. When you talk to the audience, don't do that, blah, 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 and he had experience, because, it wasn't just being like, it's almost like Joey wanted me to kind of speak for him sometimes too. So he was very you know. So, but yeah, he would be like, I remember, you know, I never headbanged like that on stage. I just didn't do it. So he's like, when you're not fucking singing, you better. So that's when I had my dreadlocks in the first. So I just looked like this fucking tilt-a-whirl. And but also learning, like looking back on it, I watch videos. I'm going, whoa! I didn't know how to breathe. Then I was out of breath. When I watch videos, the music would suffer because I'm trying to live up to his expectations. And if you ever complain, people like, I remember one time we're going, fuck man, I'm out of breath. It's hot up there. And he was, I'll never forget him saying, you don't know what hot is. It's not 99 Ozfest and a fucking mask. I don't want to hear it. I'm just like,
all right,
you know,
all right. I'm
like,
banging, man. I'm head banging.
And he was serious about it, you know, and that was what he always said. So we were just like, it was a serious thing for him, even though we had a lot of fun in that band. When we went on stage, it was fucking go time. And if you're not going for it, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And you know, so that was, you know, the energy thing, you know, and that's something that I'm excited to do because I want to revisit these songs and I want to be able to sing them properly. And I also want to be able to jump around and be an idiot too. So I think with 20 years now with the experience, I think I might have it down now.
Well, that's cool because I mean, when you're a kid, you just get up there and you start screaming your head off, but then you realize that there's technique to it.
There's technique. There's breathing. It's so much stuff. And plus the way I sing, my voice is obviously not my talking voice. It's a very delicate creature. I have to treat right. Some people were like, oh, well, you should warm up. And I'm like, for me, warming up is me doing the Rambo.
Yeah.
That's what I call that. That's the key of Rambo.
Yeah.
And he's just a machine gun at the end of part 2. And I can do that. It's like, for me, I have a couple hours before the show. I'm getting older and I love my old man naps in the day, but I can't do them too close to show because I have to get up. I can't sit down and do my stuff. I have to be standing up. I have to talk. My voice is like an engine. It has to get warmed up. And the more I'm talking and doing stuff with it, the better it is. So it's not anything I can do where it's the me, you know, literally, it's the Rambo technique I do. And if I can do that in that key and keep it, and I can take that Rambo and just go, I can do different levels. And that's how I get my voice to do what it does.
Well, I think the last time I was with you and we were in pre-show and we were in the bus and we were watching Cops, just laughing reruns of Cops, just laughing our asses off.
Yeah, Cops and that show Live Patrol, which
Live PD. Yeah, that's a great one, man.
Mostly filmed in Utah.
Yeah, well, it's all over the U.S. now.
Yeah,
close to my part in North Carolina now. They're very close. But yeah, our bus stuff is always, you know, just a few things we always watch. There's always Friday nights we watch. Friday Saturdays has always been like Cops. Watch Cops or this and then usually every night we always watch Family Feud as a band and play Family Feud.
Oh, nice.
We love Steve Harvey.
We have Germany and Portugal in the chat, by the way, saying hello to Wednesday.
Hello, Germany and Portugal.
So my other question is, you said you were talking about getting older and stuff. I want to see the bicep. How's that coming along?
I fucked it. I fucked it up.
I know.
Royally.
But you got it fixed though, didn't you?
I did not have it fixed.
So you still look like Popeye, man.
Yeah, but it's a little more under control. I've got it.
Okay.
It's definitely movable and stuff, but I did fuck it up. And what I did, I planned to have it fixed. That's why I canceled some summer stuff. But when I went to go get this stuff done, basically, imagine you broke your arm and you didn't go get it fixed and it just sort of healed back. Yeah. And then you went to go get it fixed. They would be like, yo, we got to re-break this fucking thing
Yeah.
and all of this shit. So what I've done is I waited really too long and I really fucked my arm up, and it would take a lot of stuff to get it done. Luckily, it popped in a place where it's not so bad, but I still can't do certain things. I can't lift up certain, I have to be very careful, like certain weights. It's just I literally I popped my bicep. And to get it fixed, they would have to do surgery, reattach the whole fucking thing. It'd be rehab of months and months and months, and it just, I got another arm. I'll just fucking tough it up,
And what more metal can you be than saying I fucking broke my bicep, man?
Yeah, I broke it on a bucket of fried chicken too.
Yeah.
True. That's what popped it. I was getting food for my granddaughter had like a birthday party, and everybody came over, and I'm like, hey, I'll go get everybody some food. And I went to my local favorite chicken place, Bojangles in North Carolina, and I got the family pack on Sunday, and they give you a gallon of iced tea in this. I'm not lying, a fucking box you could put an animal in. This box. I mean, you can save it, take it, and put shit in it, and save it as a storage box.
Yeah.
And this kid hands me the food out the window, and I literally put my hand like this, and I was like, is it really that heavy? And by the time I caught myself, pop. It literally just popped.
Oh man.
And I just went like literally I was driving the car, and I just went forward into a parking space, got out of the car, and like almost threw up because I was like, I didn't realize what I had done. And it bruised. I mean, it was black. I mean, it looked like I got struck by lightning. The crazy thing was it blacked all down here, not where the pop is. So it's just either way, I fucked it. Whether I would have went and got it fixed right away, it would have been a process, and it was just something I was not expecting. I probably would have went to the hospital, but I was actually flying home that day. So it was like, oh, if you go to the hospital, now you're going to miss your flight, and then you're going to do this. And it was just, I didn't realize what I'd done. I thought maybe it'll go back, but no.
Battle scars.
Yeah.
So my last question I have for you, and Dustin, if you have any, jump in. But my last question for you is, how was the tour with Ministry that you guys did?
They canceled.
Is that the one you can't? Oh, they canceled it. Okay.
They canceled it, and we still get blamed for it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, when they canceled, the whole tour got canceled. It wasn't like, it's unfortunate because I just, I love Ministry. I think it'll work out for us in the future, but a lot of people don't realize that like the touring world is just getting back to doing stuff right, or feeling right again. And last year, that's why I stayed in the States. I didn't do much. I didn't do anything besides the States. Just because, ticket sales, people don't want to buy people don't have money to do stuff. It's just a really weird time right now for bands touring. And this is my first tour that I'm really doing all year. So I'm hoping, being that I haven't toured since last October in the States, that absence will make people come out, because they're used to, I think, probably seeing me every few months.
I miss you, man.
Yeah.
I miss you.
I miss
you. Are you guys going coast to coast? Are you doing everywhere in the States?
Well, you can't please everybody, and everybody is on my Facebook, it seems like.
Oh yeah.
No, it's just, I mean, we're doing 38 dates on this tour, 38 shows. There's 50 states, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Two of them you can count out.
So we're doing 38 shows, and that's still not hitting everywhere. You can't do that. I mean, if you think about every state and go, oh, well, every state's got 4 or 5 good places to play, and then do the math on that, you'd be on tour for months and months and months and months. And fans don't realize, they just go, play here. Like, we want to play anywhere and everywhere, but this tour is 38 dates. We also have off shows. So we're going to be out for 7.5 weeks plus a week of rehearsal. That's a long time being in a little tiny bus right before Christmas. We can't add any more shows. It's just be dumb. We're burnt out. But we're going to come back. We're going to come back in the States. It's easy for us to tour here. It's just, we can't hit everywhere in one swoop.
Yeah.
And we try to hit the places that want the shows and the promoters want to take, and they want to pay the package deal. It's like some people are upset we're not playing Florida, and it's not because I didn't want to play Florida. It's because the promoter in Florida didn't want to take the package.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So the people like, you hate Florida. I don't hate Florida. Like, we will play anywhere. Believe me, look up my past show schedule. I have played everywhere. Some places I wish I wouldn't have played, but I played there. You know what I mean? So the band wants to play anywhere and everywhere we can in front of fans. It just, we can't go play Florida for $500 when we're making Atlanta pay us. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we can't do it. So, but like I said, you can't please all the people all the time, and all those people are on Facebook.
Well, the real fans can go to the closest show too. They can travel a little bit.
Yeah, I always tell people, they go, well, man, that's too far. I'm like, well, I guarantee you, we're driving further than you are.
Yeah.
Because our tours, I can't get to your show in Pennsylvania. That's too far away. I was like, well, we drove from California, so sorry.
People also have to consider the reality that there are other acts touring, and a lot of venues are booked up. Like, you guys have to deal with kind of like when you get in when you can.
But again, with that being said, I don't expect everybody to know this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just, I see it all day, and I'm really active with my social media, and I read comments, and I just want to, I want to write people individually and explain it to them. It gets so long, I can't do that. So like today I made a post. Hey guys, tour starts next week. No more shows being added this year. We are booking shows in the UK, Europe, South America, Mexico for 2024. First comment: you coming to the UK, mate? Or Florida? Question mark.
Florida. Yeah.
And I don't know if people are just doing it, but it's just what we're like. So, but it's not just my page. I see it on everybody's page. It's hilarious. And then like the funniest one last week. So people want to tell me, okay, so we just announced we're playing Sick New World, Vegas. Come to Oklahoma. First comment or whatever. Last week I'm at the horror convention, and I met Tom Atkins from Halloween 3. And I met the Michael Myers, Nick Castle. Either was one of the ones I posted. I went, just met the original Boogeyman, Nick Castle, Michael Myers. First comment: meet Tobin Bell! Exclamation point.
It's never going to be good enough.
And I'm like,
you're never.
What? Just go meet somebody. You met him. Meet this person. I'm like, they're not here. Yeah, but go meet them.
Yeah, go meet them anyway.
People's comments make me laugh, and it's usually on Facebook, and like Facebook comments versus Instagram comments, I compare them. Facebook's like Walmart, and Instagram's like Target.
Yeah,
it's a different kind of clientele there. Just a little
same
bit.
colors too. Same colors.
It's weird.
That's a good point.
But again, as much as I'm not complaining, it's this social stuff is just, it's funny to me because you want to try to give everybody all the information you can, and you put it right there, and it just sometimes just slips.
My response to that would be like, your lack of reading comprehension is not my problem, sir.
Or the best comment last week, because we were scheduled to play, I don't even know how to say the name of this place, Racine, Wisconsin.
Racine,
Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah.
We had 2 Wisconsin shows. I get weekly ticket sales. Got ticket sales for Racine, Wisconsin like 3-4 weeks ago. 26 tickets sold. That's not a lot. And that's not a lot. And that's something the promoter's going to lose his ass on paying us. So he decided with my agent, hey, show isn't doing well. I'm going to be done with it. You guys can move your show. So we moved it to Belvedere, Illinois. Wasn't my decision, just what the guy did. I got a Facebook message. You fucking son of a bitch.
From one of those 26 people.
Because you canceled your show in Racine, Wisconsin, I've got a non-refundable hotel room, you fucking asshole. All caps. And I'm just like, and then I started thinking, I'm like, what kind of hotel did you book that isn't going to give you a refund?
No shit.
2 fucking months from now. What'd you do?
Yeah.
You pay him in pennies? What'd you do?
It's 24 hours, not 22
and then
months.
it's just hilarious to some of the messages I get. It's never a dull moment in the social media world. But
I will say though that you're probably one of my favorite people on social media because you have your Patreon page, and this is a good plug for your Patreon page. That man, you are very active on that, and I love it because you're just always interacting with people. You have your Wednesday chats and everything, man.
I do a Wednesday every week, usually, unless something's or tour's coming up and I get a little busy. But yeah, I do. You're right. I talk to my fans. I know all my fans. Like I know them I know their screen names. I know their real names.
Yeah.
I see them outside the bus waiting in line. And when I go see them, I'm not being fake. I'm like, yo, what's up? And what's up? Ghoul Kitty 1341.
Yeah,
They're like, holy shit, you know my name. And it's just, so that's been a cool thing because the Patreon, that it's not a huge thing, but it's a community of my fans. They're all friends. They've all met. They're people from around the world now. They're like best friends, and they meet up at my shows and they'll travel to a couple of shows. It's just a cool thing. And I don't mind going there and sharing things with them. They get to see me without my makeup on. They get to see me hanging out with my cat. They get to see all the stuff on my Patreon page. And I still very active on my other stuff. I just don't give them the, on my Patreon page, you'll get to see exactly what's in these shelves and stuff. From what you guys, you didn't see just the distance.
I have a friend who collects toys who would be obsessed with that. I'm sure I should point him to your Patreon.
Toys are like the fountain of youth.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because I've met and I'm friends with people on the Patreon that were from the Patreon page that I've got to know and meet at shows, different shows, and Wednesday shows, and I mean we all talk to each other and hang out and talk about the shows, and we talk about horror movies and all kinds of stuff. So
they're great, and I'll be honest with you, a good portion, especially on this side, all these where my hand is, these figures, probably most of them were gifts from my fan club over the past couple years, from like just birthday presents, like every year my birthday I go to the post office and it's literally my car is filled full. I mean, and they spoil me. I get awesome stuff. I mean,
that's rad.
Toys, posters, everything. My fan, I say it all the time. I may not have the biggest fan base in the world, but my fans make me feel like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's we were talking earlier about something about just kind of the cool thing about music is how communities really develop around it, and just sharing music with a community is like one of the coolest things about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just music. Like I said, it saved my life. It's connected me with everything. I mean, it's that's the one thing I'll just tell people. If you're interested in music and you start early, like I started wanting to do this when I was like 11, and it took me a long time to do it. But by the time I was 25, I was touring the world and releasing a major label record. That's not that long of a time to go, I'm 12. Can I get a guitar for Christmas? And, 13 years later, and I think that's something my dad realizes too. Like my dad doesn't listen to my music or anything, but he knows that it was a good investment buying me that Ibanez guitar when I was 12,
Were your parents supportive of you getting into music?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was a good kid. I hate to say that, but I was a good kid. I wasn't doing the normal shit that teenagers did and experimenting in drugs. I literally was sitting in my bedroom with a guitar, learning how to play the first Faster Pussycat record. And then once I learned how to play it, I wanted to make sure I looked cool while I played it. So I stood in front of the mirror and practiced how to look cool. And that's what I did. And then I was, playing in bands and putting my band together. And eventually the ingredients of those first little bands led to Frankenstein Drag Queens. And then that led to Murder Dolls. So music has just taken me on a journey through life. And it's crazy because it's unexpected, all the turns and places that I go, and the people that I've met and made friends with. And, I had Alice Cooper on my record, it's like, it's to think back, like the whole reason I wanted to do this and look like this, and then he knows me by name. It's a crazy world, but I wanted it so bad that I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I was willing to play bass. Willing to play bass. As horrible as it was, I was going to do it.
I can't believe you sunk that low.
That'd have been a great joke if my bass player Troy would have been. I would imagine.
Is Troy gonna be on tour?
Oh yeah, everybody. We got everybody. Same band. Everybody. I have our drummer Mike. He joined the tour last year for the first time, and he is now full on with the band. And
nice.
Yeah, we got a good pack of people. It wasn't easy replacing Kyle, and Kyle, what he brought to the table was undescribable. And I think he's probably the reason Wednesday 13 still survived, because if he wouldn't have came in and did what he did at that time, I don't think I would have. I think I would have strayed and went off and maybe started doing something. But he loved what I did so much, he made me excited to be in my own band. And he also was the most amazing drummer I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, it was like Joey times. It was like a Joey robot. Like, what else can you play? What have you got? Like, God, it was insane. And we're still great friends. I text with him almost every day.
And did I see that Troy cut his hair?
No.
Oh, okay. No. I must have just seen it pulled up or something. And
yeah, I think Troy's got dreadlocks down to his waist now.
Okay, all right.
I don't know how his hair grows, but it outgrows everybody's hair. He's got some. I think he's just been pulling up. So he's
it ain't hard to outgrow mine. So
yeah, we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Is there? Are you based out of North Carolina?
I was born and raised there, and I moved to California in 2010. So when we started recording that last Murder Dolls record, I've been living here ever since that.
Gotcha. I've just talked to a lot of pretty killer bands out of North Carolina lately, so I was like, oh, there must be a pretty decent scene there.
I hope so, because it wasn't when I was there. I mean, there's some great bands. There's still great band Anti-Scene from North Carolina who still helped me out through a lot of stuff. But yeah, there really wasn't a whole lot going on then. That's, and if there was, we were against it anyway. Our band was just, Frankenstein Drag Queens was out to start trouble with any band, scene, club, whatever you had, we wanted to destroy it. I don't understand the mentality of that band. I'm like, you guys thought you were going to get popular by doing this? I guess we sort of did, but that was fun times. Couldn't do that now.
Yeah, you get canceled.
Yes.
Yeah, I got canceled with the live chicken instantly.
Eric's interviewed you quite a few times, so I don't want to like recover any old ground, but I like to ask what people are listening to now, even if it's like old stuff, like what are you listening to right now? What kind of stuff are you spinning?
Well, I'm in tour mode, so I've literally been listening to the Murder Dolls set just kind of over and over because I'm trying to meld it in my head so I don't fuck up the words, which I know I will. But as far as like, again, there's nothing new. Unfortunately, I wish there was something new, but I'm still. I've been listening to Motorhead a lot.
Awesome.
I don't know if there's any better gym music than Motorhead. If you're at the gym on an elliptical or a treadmill and you just want to run as fast as you can, just put on Motorhead. So I've been listening to Motorhead a lot. Eddie Money is always on my stuff, and I mentioned Love Hate. I've been on I won't say a kick. I've just been listening to a lot of the music I grew up on, and just everything from. I went and saw Donnie V from Enough's Enough last weekend, so I've been
nice.
to everything, like Enough's Enough, just all the bands that, like I said, the music that I listened to while I was watching and collecting this stuff is what I listen to.
Yeah.
That keeps me young. And Kiss, I'm still playing Kiss. I've been listening on the treadmill. I've been listening to Paul Stanley read his book. Even though I've read his book, I like to hear him read his book. It's fun.
Nice. No, the reason I ask is like I talked to this guy Steve Zing who plays for Danzig a couple days ago, and he brought up like this Osmond stuff. Like he's like, yo, some of this Osmond stuff from like is kind of heavy. Like Crazy Horses or something like that. Like, and so I like to pick people's brains, especially people that are in music, just to get because like I forgot how much I loved Faster Pussycat until we were just talking to you. I was like, I got to go listen to the Faster Pussycat records again. I love that stuff. Love Hate too.
For me, it's either the hair metal stuff, which is all of those bands, or I really am a big fan of late 70s, early 80s country.
Oh, okay.
Because it reminds me of what my parents had on the radio when I was a kid, before I was even into music or anything,
like Hank Williams.
And I find myself listening to just tons of stuff, like the band Alabama, who is probably one of the greatest bands ever. I mean, their harmonies, everything. It's just insane. You can come on our bus and see the way we look, and then I've got fucking Alabama. Play me some mountain music. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That stuff is timeless to me, and that stuff that gets me going. Unfortunately, there's not really anything new that I've heard that I like. I dig the band Three Teeth a lot. I think they're awesome.
Okay.
And my friend Nick plays drums for them. They just put a new record out. They're excellent. And again, when I go a new band, I'm like, Gojira's good. I'm like, they're not
great.
But so there's just not really anything like. So Gojira is still new to me, even though I've been listening to them for I don't know how long.
They're new to me. I took my son to see them with Deftones a couple years ago, and I was even like, wow, Gojira kind of like blew the Deftones away. And as much as I love the Deftones, just the energy they had.
They're my favorite heavy. Just it's insane. Their drummer and the front guy and the drummer brothers, and it's just insane. The click they have and what they've created is unreal. And Gojira is a huge influence on our guitar player Rahman. Like, he's been listening to him forever, and like now that I've heard him, I hear all the weird stuff. He knows how to play all that stuff, and it's literally like trying to explain another language to me. I don't get it, but I love it.
Yeah, I can relate to them being new to you though, because that's a band that's been in the peripheral for me for a long time, and I just recently started appreciating their stuff.
Yeah,
well, it's funny you mentioned you don't listen to a lot of new stuff, because I just put together like a playlist for myself, and I mean, I know you'll recognize some of the bands I had on there. I had like Sleazebees, Dangerous Toys, Shotgun Messiah.
Messiah.
Yeah.
I can name you everybody in those bands and all their albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to that stuff recently too. I actually went back and revisited the first Shotgun Messiah album. The one that Tim's not singing on. That's, I used to say I like the second one better than the first one, but I've been listening to the first one and like side 2, because that's when I had it. It was on cassette. Side 2 of Shotgun Messiah's got some great songs. Like that song "Nervous."
Yeah.
Is probably, I don't know. That song is great, but "Don't Care About Nothing" is probably their best song.
What
was their radio hit, Eric? When they were
Heartbreak Boulevard.
Heartbreak Boulevard.
Yeah, Heartbreak Boulevard. Yeah.
Didn't they put out like an industrial kind of record after that?
Violent New
Yeah,
Breed.
they did.
By the way,
Yes.
if you have any trivia, as you can see, I can nail this like fucking Jeopardy style.
Awesome. Yeah. Violent New Breed. I love that record too.
Yeah, that was my world. Any band that like in that era, I know them. I had their cassette or CD, and most of them I've met and become friends with.
Nice.
Like I'm friends with Jason of Dangerous Toys. I know, it's insane.
The Sleazebees, I love the Sleazebees, man. They had some good stuff in that.
Sleazebees
album.
What were some of the other bands on your playlist? I cut you off.
I had Shotgun. I had some Kane Roberts on there, some old Kane Roberts, Jason Bonham's band, Contraband. Remember Contraband with the there was all the guys from Shark Island and all that. And
Shark Island guy, Tracy Guns, bass player Vixen, Bobby Blotzer. That was Contraband. I used to carry a copy of Contraband in my vehicle, so if I was ever pulled over and they say, "Do you have Contraband?" I'd be like, "You got that I do. Here on CD." No shit, I had that in my dash.
Have you heard that? Have you heard the Steel Panther song, "I Like Drugs," where there's a part where he gets pulled over and there's a cop. He's like, "Do you got any warrants?" He's like, "Yeah, I got the first 3 records."
Yeah, that's the point when I heard that's exactly what I thought about. But I used to do. I thought that was my old joke. Luckily, I never got pulled over because I'm sure I still would have went to jail.
They ripped.
And then because it was Halloween, I had I was just listening today to that Trick or Treat soundtrack.
Excellent. That's another
That's a
good
great one. With
a lot of people
Fastway.
don't know that Fastway, they know Fastway did the soundtrack for that, but people don't know that front guy of Fastway is the front guy of Flogging Molly, and he doesn't claim to be who he is. I had heard, and someone told me last week that they're doing a Trick or Treat anniversary DVD with commentary.
Oh, really?
And they got him for it. So
that's badass.
So I think he's finally claiming that he was who he was because time now and just how.
Yeah.
But that soundtrack is amazing. I don't know why you would ever not want to say you were responsible for that.
No shit.
Excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's been on my playlist lately.
Good. That's all. That's kind of what I have on my shuffle too.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of old 80s stuff too. Like I have the 80s playlist and it has a lot of, because I listened to hair metal in the 80s, but now I appreciate bands like Depeche Mode and The Cure and all those other bands that I wasn't really into back in those days.
I went through an 80s phase too where I was listening to like the Gary Newman kick and like the stuff that didn't register with me then, and like I love all that stuff now. Like it's crazy how it took me a while to get that. I mean, because I remember watching MTV when it first came out. I just didn't really get Video Killed the Radio Star and A Flock of Seagulls and stuff.
Yeah.
And I see that stuff now, I'm like, man, that's great production. It's great
music,
trippy. It's just like the intro for that Ran So Far is amazing.
One of the songs I'm obsessed with right now is that song "The Warrior" by Scandal with Patti Smith. Have you ever heard that song?
Yeah, I used to always think that was Doro or wanted it.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff from that era that I hated it when I was a kid. I was like, this is stupid. And now I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. Phil Collins, like some of that Phil Collins stuff and like Duran Duran even.
Yeah, it's cool that it wasn't ruined for me, so I can actually go back and listen to it and appreciate it. I think that's the best thing, especially for me, is to listen to different music, because I'm still going to do what I do, but having other things to listen to somehow bleeds in with that stuff. The
Yeah.
fans never hear it, but I know it. You know,
Yeah,
every
it's
time
like-
every time I write a good song with a chorus, I go, "Fuck yeah, Eddie Money."
Yeah.
I call it.
If you
I write a good
play
chorus. Yeah.
if you play in a thrash band and all you listen to is thrash, your stuff's gonna sound like all the other thrash. So it's like you almost have to kind of branch out a little bit.
Yeah, the 80s country stuff I was talking about, like it's almost like rock, you know, like it's not the
Yeah.
your typical, well, I'll tell you what, I was on a horse. I was like it's like you know, it's definitely there's really cool guitar parts and there's guitar leads and harmonies and stuff. And I think a lot of that influences a lot of music that I make, and I don't even realize it till going back and listen to it. Like you may hear a song like Nowhere from Murder Dolls, and it's got that lead part, this is hook, and like, you know, there's stuff like that in old country songs that just lead a song. And I just somehow, I think subliminally, I take that and write stuff that way.
Everything has an effect.
Yeah. Well, Wednesday, it's been amazing talking to you, man.
Yeah, we've been on an hour now.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on tour. Like I said, I'll catch. Maybe I'll catch more than one date. I'm gonna try. So
Cool. Well, we're going to be out there for 38 of them. So
yeah, but you're not coming to Florida.
And if they're not coming to your town, make a trip out of it. Make a week.
I don't know why Florida's not on the list. We've done well there. It's just I don't know. Next time, we'll get you next time.
Pack up your Chihuahua and get on the road and go see Wednesday 13.
Yeah, drive up to Atlanta.
Doing murder. Yeah, exactly. Doing the Murder Doll stuff. So,
yeah.
I mean, I can't get any better than that. So
that's right.
Well, thank you, sir, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for having me, and hopefully all the people that watch this and play back will leave good comments and not talk shit, because I'll read it.
I'll forward it to you, so you'll hear it. You'll hear it.
Come back through again too, man. We obviously Eric's talked to you several times, but please come back again when you have new material out or another tour.
Will do. I keep going. Okay. I'll be back on the next one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. All right, later.
All right, we're going to. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah. Wait, tomorrow. Let's pimp up tomorrow a little bit, dude.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow we are going to be talking to Sharon from Within Temptation.
Yeah.
We've got a very. It's not going to be like this because we got 30 minutes. They're like she's on a press tour thing where they're going to be like whoosh, whoosh, next outlet. But yeah, if you're going to watch that, jump into the comments and you know, if you have questions for her that you would like us to ask, please
please send us a message or something, and like and share our streams too, you know what I mean? Just because it's cool that it's cool to have somebody like her on there, because I'm a huge fan of Within Temptation, so I'm excited to talk to her just as a fan, but you know, find out about the new album, because I've been jamming the new album. It's really good. So
I listened to the new record a couple times. It's really good. I've been on all morning too, because right before this I interviewed Max Cavalera's son, Igor.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. He was a little bit late, so I was like kind of panicking. I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't no show again. But it actually went really well. So it was I almost forgot that Wednesday was right at 12. So I'm glad that I was like, oh, I cut it and jumped over.
The cool thing for you to check out tonight while you're out and about, and anybody that's not really familiar with Within Temptation, is they did a song with Exhibit.
Really? The rapper?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's called "And We Run," and it's from their Hydra album, and it's a great song. They did another song with the guy that was I'm trying to think of you, Howard Jones, the singer
from Killswitch
Engaged. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a song with him. So
you know, there's a guy from the 80s called Howard Jones, right? The guy. My mom used to listen to him.
Yeah, with the big old
whoa.
Yeah, we're gonna get flagged by YouTube for singing that.
Dude, we got a copyright thing from Steve Zing was playing the Osmonds on his cell phone.
Oh, was he? Okay.
It's not a
That's funny.
strike. It's like there's no.
Yeah.
They're not gonna point,
Yeah.
but they caught it, and I was like, I wonder if they'll like flag you for that for playing it like on the.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Huh.
But that's good.
So yeah, everybody tune in tomorrow. What are we like? I think we're 10 o'clock Pacific, right?
10 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little early. So you might have to get up out of bed. But
yeah.
But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. So.
Yeah, and this was great too. This interview with Wednesday, like very cool of him to stop in and talk about that tour, and like people should get out and see it, even if they're not directly in your city.
Exactly.
So, all right, man. Well,
all right.
Let's close it. Let's shut it down. And
let's shut it down.
Thank you for tuning in, y'all. Keep it brutal.
Be brutal.